Gentlemen, this is Shannon McGurk of Authentic Masculinity. This is the third in a series of videos we're doing about how to sort of crush a job interview and do very, very well. And the beauty of this approach is, even if you don't get the job, you still want to set yourself up for success. Now, in the first video I covered, we're going to be covering preparation, conduct, and follow-up. I've done the second video, which is you prepare yourself, you prepare doing research on the other, you prepare the message, and you prepare for the venue. Here's what I'd like to spend a little time on right now, and that is the message. The job you're going to get is one that's a reach for you, so you've done some research. You want to research what they're looking for in the job. You might be able to research other candidates who might be competing with you for the job. And then based on the research you do on the position and based on the research you do on the people you'll be working with, you want to prepare the message you want to communicate. This is very important. So that when you go into the interview and they're asking you questions, you're sort of, in your answers, you're wrapping the message you want to send. Okay? This is very important. That way you're not always on defense. So let's say they'll ask you a question. In my instance, the gentleman I was talking to was a real gentleman. He was very humble. I was very impressed by him. He asked me a series of open-ended questions, and he just let me talk, which was a wonderful scenario. I think I inspired confidence. I think my resume got the job interview. The resume was directed to him by a trusted friend that I knew and he knew. And so I kind of had a soft recommendation, but not a hard recommendation. I haven't got the job yet, right? But I did get the interview. And the gentleman that I interviewed with was a real, true gentleman. He asked me open-ended questions and he let me talk. So that gave me an opportunity to communicate certain messages that I wanted him to know were at the heart of what would be important to me if I was working for him. Okay? Now, one of the first things I did when I got into the interview was I said, "How are you for time? I want to be respectful of your time." He told me, you're the first person who's ever asked that question. So then what you do is, once you know how much time they have, you must be respectful of their time. If you want to make a very strong statement, and this is aggressive, and I didn't do this in this interview, take your watch off, put it on the table, and keep an eye on it. I'm checking the time here, as a matter of fact. All right. And then 2 or 3 minutes before the interview is supposed to close, refer to the time and say, "John, I know we have 3 minutes left. Let me make some closing comments, and then I'll let you have the final word." When you do that, you're being respectful of their time. You're making sure they know they're in charge, because let's face it, you're interviewing with them. They're the one in the position to offer you a job, but you want to bring value to them, and you're building a relationship. And if you're courteous and you ask permission and you use good, sophisticated communication skills, one of which is listening, the other is asking permission, the other is being courteous, the other is delivering a message that is hopefully of value to them, right? And you're doing all of this slowly and carefully, the whole process goes more smoothly. The whole process goes more, I want to say, gently. And in sales, this is a good thing to remember. In a sophisticated sales transaction, and what you're doing is you're selling your skills, you're selling yourself in a way, you want to remove pressure as the other person gets close to the execution, right? So as somebody's getting ready to ink a deal or sign a contract, you want to remove the pressure as you come to execution. All right? And that's what we're doing here. And you're removing that pressure by reassuring the person on the other side of the table that you are a good hire. And you're doing that by not putting any pressure on them and not acting like a lunatic. Okay? All right? Even though you may want the job badly, you want to communicate self-control, self-mastery, and calm, which is easy to do because you've done the preparation. But think ahead on the message you want to send. Here's some good messages to send in any interview. Humility. Ask questions and listen. That communicates humility. Have an informed opinion on the company, and ask questions about where that individual and his bosses want to take the company or want to take the organization. Be ready to ask a question. Say, "I've noticed in the news lately that such and such is happening with your company. Are you concerned about that? What are your thoughts? What is leadership's thoughts? What are some of leadership's thoughts on how to respond to that?" And then listen. These are messages you can send, and it communicates you have a concern for their well-being. So that's the important part about the message. I'm going to close this out for now because we're already at 5 minutes. Be bold, be authentic, be masculine. The world wants you to be a strong man. I want you to be a strong man. You will like life more when you are a strong man. And stay tuned for these videos. I think they're going to continue to be good. Thank you so much. I hope this has been helpful.